Throughout the last decade, Washington State Cougar football fans have seen numerous winning seasons behind coaches like Mike Leach and Jake Dicker. Before this recent success, Coug fans had to endure some of the worst college football ever seen on the Palouse. From 2008 through 2011, Paul Wulff led the Cougs to an awful 9-40 record in his 4 years at WSU. This horrid coaching stint would get him fired. Many people just see Wulff as a horrible coach in the history of WSU football, but people do not know what he went through prior to being a coach.
When Paul was a child, his mother went missing for a very long time. They didn't really turn up any concrete evidence. There was an assumption from a lot of the family members right away that it was her husband, Paul's father, that was responsible for her disappearance. 6-7 years later, he was finally arrested. But after weeks of back and forth and legal maneuvering, the judge ultimately determined that because it took so long for him to be arrested, that the prosecution and the police had violated his right to a speedy trial. So the case was dismissed, and he was kind of free to go on about his life. Ended up moving away. Paul really never had a relationship with his father after his mother went missing, because again, it was very clear within the family that where the blame should be placed. It was that she was murdered. She was dumped in the water, and Carl Wulff has been dead for several years now, so he'll never ultimately face the legal system. The case is officially still open up in Woodland, California, as of a couple of years ago when I wrote the story, and that's probably never going to change. But in the end, where the case stands from a legal standpoint doesn't really matter. I think what matters here is that the family did get some sort of resolution, and were able to celebrate her memory.
When people look back on the Paul Wulff coaching era, they may just look at the result of his tenure at WSU, which is reasonable. But people should also take into account the complexity of what he went through and not just judge a person by their coaching.